Good morning, everyone. We'll start in about a minute. Can you all hear me okay? Hey, Latanya, unmute yourself, please, and let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you now. I couldn't a second ago. Now I can.
Okay, good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, well, let's get started. My name is Carla, and I'm the compliance coordinator for the office. So I check everybody's documents once you submit them in Command, and I check for accuracy and completeness. And then I don't know if either of you have had any transactions so far. Any?
I have not. I have one going on right now though.
Okay.
And I was on a team, and so I figured the team would take care of that, but I'm not on the team anymore. So I kind of,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So now
Now
I got to figure out what to do.
okay. All right. Well, I'm here to help you with that. So, you obviously, I don't know if you all are using DocuSign or Dotloop. Dotloop, I know if you use it, you'll have to pay for it from this office. So hopefully you're all using DocuSign. But you get all the paperwork filled in on DocuSign. And if you haven't been to one of the classes with Jules and Leah about DocuSign, you please go to that because they're pretty thorough in explaining how to use that. I'm not great at it, but I can muddle my way through. So once you have that, let me bring it up as a matter of fact. So all your documents should be in DocuSign or uploaded onto your computer, and that's how you upload it into Command. And then once it's in Command, you'll have to submit it for review to me because I can't see it otherwise.
Okay.
And I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to share the screen. And you all should be seeing my DocuSign account. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you go into your rooms. So whatever room you have open or that's active. First of all, in DocuSign, if you go into, you can see this details section. Once you go into the details section, please fill out as much information as you can on this on the details page, because everything that you put in here is going to automatically transfer onto the document so that you don't have to fill those in. I learned that the hard way. So painstakingly filling every line in on each document takes forever. So when you first get the opportunity or the listing or the buyer's agency, fill in all of this stuff as much as you can, especially over here where the buyers or sellers names, it goes on and on because there's listing agent, there's seller, there's buyers. Make sure you're in the right one, buyer agency, buyer broker, buyer listing broker. So it's all that stuff. As much as, like I said, as much as you can fill it in. Especially over here on this side where you're filling in the buyers, or if it's a listing, the sellers, basically. Make sure you have their name, their phone number, their email, and their current mailing address. Those are very important because I'll return the document to you if those aren't complete on the last page of the either the buyer's agency or the listing agreement. Okay, so make sure you fill those in over here, and then it'll automatically fill in on all the documents that you prepare. Okay, and then in the documents page, obviously, you're going to fill in all the documents. You could add them through here. Okay, you add them either through DocuSign forms. If you have the DocuSign forms, you're going to pick out which one it is. Obviously, you probably won't be using commercial, but show more. There's a listing, North Carolina listing, North Carolina sales. That's the buyer agency. And South Carolina buyer and listing forms. Okay, so make sure you get the right ones, obviously. If you go down here to KW 350, that's our market center. If you click on that, it's going to show you our office forms that are required to be filled in, such as the septic, sewer, and water discovery form, the title insurance, and the affiliated business disclosures. All those need to be filled in. If you have South Carolina, then that personal property addendum as well also needs to be filled in. Although that now should be taken away because that's an actual document through South Carolina. Okay, so once you choose those, you click on what you want out of here, and then you add the selected. Once you add the selected, if I put it in here, it's going to go into my rooms, and it'll show up like this. And you'll see this say that says form. So if I click on this form, I'm going into too much detail here on DocuSign, but it's important. See how it already filled in everything that is needed.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you can fill in the rest when it says form. If you download it through a PDF, then you'll have to do it when you do your envelopes. Okay.
I have a question real quick. I
Okay.
don't know if so I had an opportunity already in Command, and
Okay.
I have like this stuff is signed already, the exclusive buyer agency and everything.
Okay.
But that opportunity was on the team's Command page. Do I need to make a new opportunity and get it re-signed or no?
You don't have to get it re-signed.
Okay.
What team were you with?
I was on Kennedy Homes of the Carolinas.
Oh, okay. You should be able to just pull that from there.
So I still see the opportunity. Okay.
Okay. So let's go. So that's how you do DocuSign. If we go back into Command, if you're in an opportunity, let me see this. If you're in your opportunity and if it's a whatever agency, if you can still see it and can still access it, go into it, and then you can click on your agency agreement. Okay, and then you can download it here, right from here. Can you see that little cloud?
Yes, I had to move here.
Okay. The cloud and or the print button, and you can print it from there, and then you can put that into your own opportunity.
Okay, so I need to make a new opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. If you're not being, I mean, did you check with them if once? Because sometimes if an opportunity is started through the company, or if you started the transaction with
So
the
it's actually
company,
for me.
okay. So it's not going through Kennedy.
No, yeah, I'm the buyer. Me and my fiance are the buyer.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're not going to get any
No, any commission.
commission? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I would make a whole new opportunity.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Okay. So once we're here, now we're in command. If you need to download all your documents, you can choose right here in this little shaded area. It says attach files from. Okay, and you can use it it'll say either my computer, which is downloaded onto your in your files, or it'll say DocuSign. If it says DocuSign and you have all the completed documents in DocuSign, click on that. And then once you click on to put it in there, instead of right now it's on my computer. If you click here, it'll go into my files to see which one I need. If it's in DocuSign, it's going to show a whole list of DocuSign documents. The key in DocuSign is if a completed document is in here, indicated by this check mark, it's completed. If you go and right click on here and rename it, you can put it FE, like fully executed document. Then you'll know which one to download into command. Okay, so I can rename this document and just put fully executed. That way, once I see it in that list, because that list that's coming down into command is everything. It'll be the certifications, it'll be the blank forms and everything. You just have to know which one to download. So the trick is to rename it. That way, once you click on here to find out all the documents, you'll know exactly which one to upload. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So that's how you do that. Then once you have, now this is important, the working with real estate agent and the listing agreement or the buyer's agency agreement and the offer to purchase are supposed to be submitted within 3 days of signing. Okay, so if you have one you're signing today, it should be in command and submitted. You press the submit button within 3 days of signing. So if you sign it today, it should be by the 20th. Okay.
Okay.
And that's the law. Okay. Now, do a lot of people do that? Of course not. But if we're ever audited, if we're ever audited, huh?
I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's okay. A lot of people don't, but we have to look out if we're ever audited and those documents aren't in there and they find out, then it's a fine. So it's important to get those documents in. Now you can submit those without submitting all of them. It'll just simply say, I'll return that. Okay. So it'll be returned, and I'll just say all the documents you submitted are approved. If they're approved, just add the remaining documents when necessary or when required. Okay,
Okay.
good. All right, so you've submitted this for review, and I came along. Let me see if I can find one that's returned. Okay, so this one is returned. Let me do this differently. Okay, so this one, I had returned it and she changed it. Okay, so if I go over here and look, oh, one thing in the North Carolina sales file, or I think it's in the South Carolina sales file, there's a consultation folder. It probably has these sample forms, or it could be blank. I don't want that submitted for review. Okay, so if you put anything in there, it's a lot of times it'll say the working with real estate agents. I don't submit it for review because it's not necessary, because the same documents that are in here are in the under contract folder. Okay, so in the sales files, don't submit the consultation folder for review. All right, so now I'm going into the under contract folder, which just has all the necessary documents. And she has submitted this page 17. So I check that for accuracy. It needs to have all this complete up here. And she's got the due diligence acknowledgement. And then I check it. It looks like there's no earnest money, so it doesn't need to be signed by anybody. And at that time, then I'll approve it. If it's wrong, and I'll double check with the offer to purchase, and there is no earnest money. Okay, so that's correct. If it's wrong, I'll just put rejected, and then I'll let you know what's wrong with the document. Okay, once I tell it, then I'll click reject. When that happens, a little box will appear, like right here. It'll be a little red box. Let me see if I can find one. This one is returned, so there's a little figures. It's just ones that are missing, so this is missing. Okay, so anyway, the little red box will appear, and it will tell you exactly what's in there that's missed, what's wrong with the document. Okay. I don't know if this will have it or not. Here's the little red box. Okay, I returned it, and then if you click on this or hover over it, just hover over it, it'll say it's missing the buyer's signatures. Okay, so that way you'll know you have to open this document up, take it back to DocuSign or Dotloop, whichever one you're using, and send it to the buyers for signature. Okay, and if you're the listing agent, obviously you're going to send it back to the listing agent to have the listing sign it. Okay, does that make sense? Anybody? So they'll be missing, and then the ones that are returned, I'll let you know what's wrong with it. Okay, you just hover over these little dialog boxes. Sometimes I will also send you a note. Okay, she should have a note. See this little dialog box over here? If you click on that, this is the note that I've sent you. And it's a pretty generic note when I send this. just to say what's missing, you know, replace the rejected documents or add the missing documents. And I'll mark down what's missing by that little, I put it in here. So it's missing. You'll see that. Okay. And then once you correct all the documents, and it's either going to be changed, and I check those documents as well, or you're going to resubmit for review. Okay. Anybody have any questions yet? Okay. I'll take that as a no. All right. So you've got to remember to have everything dated. Everything should be dated. Okay. So once you have a document signed, it should be dated as well. Okay. So that's a big mistake that people make. Especially when on the buyer's agency and the listing agreement. Okay. So you get all of the documents in here, and I tell you what's wrong, if anything. Hopefully it won't be, nothing's wrong, and it'll be all approved. Now you're getting ready to go to closing. Well, let me back up. So there's under contract folder that has all of these placeholders. Okay. Don't put anything in here, like don't put agreement to amend into the additional provisions folder. Okay. If you need to put that in there, first check to make sure it's not in a different folder. So agreement to amend and like a due diligence request for North Carolina is always in the closed folder. So, oh, there's the placeholder for it. That's where it belongs. Okay. So try not to add something into a different folder that it's not named that. So if you have an extra document that you want to put in here, just say it's another, I don't even know, like the septic form or a septic permit. If it's not in here, see the septic or sewer is missing, and if they say that there's the septic permit attached and they don't have it in here, I'll ask for it. So how do you add a document? You want to put it in here, right up here in this shaded area. There's 3 large dots to the side here. You're going to click on those dots and then click add a document. Okay. And if it's a septic permit, let's say this one had a septic tank and you had the copy of the permit. Document type, just name your document what you want to name it. Document type doesn't really matter in this case. You could put it anything that you want, because I don't check those. And then you're going to drop your file in here. So if you've downloaded a copy of the septic permit into your files, you click on the browse files and then choose it and it'll upload. Okay. Now, if you know you're going to get the septic permit, and a lot of times I'll do this myself, especially if you're working with a LLC or a POA, we need that documentation in there so that we can prove that the seller is legally allowed to sign for that. Okay. So any LLC, power of attorney, a trust, we need that documentation in there. And so if I look there and I see that it's a trust or an LLC that's signing, I will create a placeholder for you. Okay. So I'll put that there. I'll put LLC documentation. And then I'll flag it as missing and save it. So what'll happen is that will go all the way down to the bottom, okay, of the list. There's a long list, okay? And then add it there. Okay? Once all that is done, I'll approve it. Then in the closed folder, if you have the copy, it has to be signed. A lot of times I'm getting these not signed, so I have to return the closing disclosure. It has to be signed by at least if in this case, the buyer, okay? And any other forms you have in there. Now, the important part of this, as you get towards closing, do it earlier. All of these documents for sure should be submitted within 7 days of closing. Obviously, you can't submit the closing disclosure until closing, and that's understandable. But every other document should be submitted at least 7 days before closing. And that's to allow me to check it. And if there's anything that needs to be changed, then it could be changed prior to closing, because it's kind of embarrassing to go to your client and say, hey, I didn't get you to sign this, so will you sign it now? A lot of times they won't. So anyway, submit those, then all the changes and corrections can be done prior to closing, and it won't delay your getting paid. Okay, because if the file's not complete prior to closing, it's going to wait. Lynn's going to hold your check until every document is complete. Okay. Now, the other thing that's important is, like I said, when it gets, between, 5 to 7 days before closing, make sure you do this. Your offers and commissions is very important. Okay. So what you're going to do is click on that. And first it's going to say add an offer. Okay. So none of this will be here. It'll just say add an offer. Okay. So if you have already, done that, it'll look like this. But if it's blank, you'll need to add that offer, and you can name it whatever you want. Okay. So then you create the offer. And then that offer, I should do this in my own, but anyway, you create the offer, and then you have to fill in everything. Okay. Can you all still see me? Because
yes.
Okay, my screen just went blank, so I just wondered. Okay, so you are looking at this at my command screen, correct?
Yep.
Okay, just checking. So anyway, so once you complete everything, a lot of these, the parties that won't let you go back until you fill everything in. You'll need to put the buyer or seller's name in, and the other agent, the listing or the co-agent in there, and then you accept the offer. And then so once you accept the offer, it'll say manage commission. Okay, click on that. That's very important. So then you're going to view your commission. And there's a couple things you'll have to edit, a couple things, such as you won't have the contract date in there, so you have to put the contract date in, and make sure the commission rate is correct. So if you're only getting 2.5% and this says 3%, then you need to change that. Okay. Usually you change that in the offer part. But just follow along on the prompts. It's not hard to do. So then once you have that completed, if it's all complete, you're going to click submit. That way that goes to Lynn, and she assigns you then a disbursement authorization number, or DA number. And that's that little number. She didn't do this one yet, because it's submitted once she approves it. A number, I think it's a 5-digit number, will be on your in the command into your opportunity, and that's how you get paid. So she goes by that number for you to get paid. So that's a very, very important step to do. Okay, if you want to get paid on time, because a lot of times I see this quite frequently, that everything is submitted, pretty much everything's approved, but they didn't submit their offers and commissions. So now Lynn might have the check, but she can't do anything with it because you didn't complete this part. Okay. So make sure you do this offers and commissions part. Is there any questions on that? Okay.
Carla.
Yeah. Hey, hi, Brandy.
Hi. Just
Hope
doing a
you're well.
refresher.
Oh, yeah, good. And that's good, because a lot of times things have changed a little bit, but a refresher is great. Great to do every now and then, since things change. So again, to make it easier on us, if you can put the address up here, because once we get a check, what we look at is the address, and then we put that in command to find that. So if you can name, this is the opportunity name, and you can go into opportunity details, and I can't change it, but you can. Okay, I can't change your command, but you can. If you can put the name, if you could put the address in the opportunity name, it makes it much easier for us to find. Okay, because we've had to do some digging when we don't know who the check belongs to. Okay, but again, just fill in as much as you can on here. Okay, so that's another little hint. If you, I think when I send a message to you saying that you need to return a document or whatever, it'll come, I think it goes to your email. But if not, you want to check this, especially after you've submitted for review. Check it pretty often, because I might leave a message for you to change something or add something. You'll find that right up here. Even if the opportunity, you just go into your command, you haven't gone into the opportunity yet. You'll check it by this little bell up here. I think it'll give you a number as to how many messages you have. There'll also be a little red dot on this bell. Once you see that, you'll know that there's a message up there. So then click on that, and then you go into your messages. You'll see my messages. If you want to, I don't know what this means. I've never seen this message before. You can view it. You can review the message by clicking on this. I don't know what it is, but it looks like it's a submit for review, which is something new. Anyway, like I said, command's always changing. So sometimes we're surprised too. It's like, oh, where'd that come from? But anyway, so that took me right to that opportunity, which is good, especially if you have several going on. You can just click on that and then click the view message, and it'll take you right to that opportunity. If you can see if it's right here, it's that same message that I clicked on. Okay. And then, so I know that she submitted this, and I'll check all of these documents. So how do you know what documents belong in here? You'll see here the requirement. So you'll know that in the offer to purchase, in the under contract folder rather, these, see where it says required? I'll know to look for a document in those. Okay. So conditional, if you're not sure if it belongs in there, click on that little information. It's a circled eye. If you hover over that, obviously, if it's a lead-based paint, if it's the house is built before 1978, that's why it's conditional. If you're like the additional provisions addendum, if it's marked in your offer to purchase, so if it's marked on page, I think it's page 12 now. Once I've checked all the documents, here, this is page 12. If it's marked here that there's an additional provisions addendum, I'm going to look for it in the list. Okay, so that, even though it says optional, means if it was checked there, it needs to be in there. Okay, and I'll mark it as missing. Okay. So just look at these. Notice if you are unsure if it belongs in there, click on that little information button, or just hover over it, I should say, and it'll tell you when it's needed. Okay, but definitely the ones that are required are part of the required documents for the under contract. Okay. So conditional is coming soon because she made it coming soon. This listing coming soon. So she's got everything in there. Do you have any questions?
No.
Nothing? Okay. This was quick. I think I covered everything. Oh, make sure you're using the correct checklist. Okay. If it's listed as a listing, then you have, make sure if it's land you're selling, make sure you have the land one, because the documents, the placeholders here match pretty much what you're going to pick. Okay. Especially in a sales file. If I can look in a sales file, there's a choice here, and this is important as well. So make sure you're choosing the correct one. So if your buyer chooses to buy a new construction, like from True Homes or Mattamy or whoever, make sure you're picking the new construction, either North Carolina or South Carolina. Okay. Because in that, the placeholders, the list is much, much smaller, and you don't need all of these documents that you see in the under contract folder on a normal sale. Okay, that list is going to be like, I think there's 6 items that are needed. So you don't get confused, and it doesn't confuse me or you, okay, as to what's needed. So make sure you're picking the correct checklist. Because once you start an opportunity, you go in and you have to pick the correct one. Okay. Again, you can submit them as often as you want. But try to, get those, working with real estate agent and either the buyer or listing agency agreements within 3 days of signing. And then all other documents should be in at least 7 days prior to closing. I'm pretty much caught up with, I try to keep caught up every day. As to for checking all the documents, but the busier it gets, the a little slower I am. Also, if anybody wants to use me as a transaction coordinator, I'm working with Jules and Leah Designs as their transaction coordinator. So feel free to use me as that. If you're on Teamridge, if you've signed up for Teamridge, you should be submitting all the documents to me, because you're going to pay, you pay anyway for that service. So why not have me help you? Okay.
Great.
Yeah. So, does anybody have any questions? I think I covered it all. If not, I guess we're done for the day.
Thanks, Carla.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for your time.
You're very welcome. You just give me a call if you need me.
Thank you.
I will.
Okay. Have a good day, everybody.
You as well.